It's an antibody test that checks for the proteins in your blood. There are two kinds. One is a titer, and what they do, I'm probably saying that wrong, but what they do is they test your blood for the proteins, and then they dilute it until they can count what's left, and they examine those, and they can tell you what kind of proteins are in there if you've got the antibodies. And the other one is a direct panel, ANA. And that one is newer, and it will test for several autoimmune issues for the antibodies, the autoantibodies. It will look for different proteins. And those different proteins point towards different autoimmune diseases. Many of them overlap. For me, when they did my test, I had some of all of them, but I had most of them is what's called double-stranded DNA. And that's what your rheumatologist and your doctors will use, in addition, with your other symptoms to diagnose you and tell you what your disease is, what condition it's pointing at. And they don't always work. I also suggest you have it done. If it comes out negative the first time, have it done again in 6 months. Don't take no for an answer, because sometimes the proteins they don't show up. I've had that happen too, and there are people with lupus. I had a really smart rheumatologist tell me once that you cannot relate lupus activity to the antibodies that are found in your blood, that they don't always go hand in hand. So you might not have any show up at the time that you have your test done, but you might be, laying in a hospital bed with nephritis and covered from head to toe in a rash. So if it comes out negative, have it done again if you think that's what you have. Don't give up.